Rock and roll, you already know what it is. Kitchen Talk, episode 35, nigga. You know how we coming, you know how we on it, man.
Wait a minute. That's your song for this episode?
Yeah,
that's always my song. It sounds like some wrestling music, but I feel like it's just energy.
But this is a different day.
I know, it is a big
Hold
day.
on, this should be your song for today, man.
Let me see.
This should be your song for today.
Oh,
You already know I'm on this, homie.
I hear that.
I remixed the
You hear
remix
that?
before
This should be your song for today.
remix.
Hey.
Respect the chooks. Maino.
Hey.
Biggie is back. Biggie is back. Bitches out in Brooklyn screaming, Biggie is back.
That's the tone to set for
No,
today.
you know what?
I agree.
I apologize, and you know what?
That's
Shout
why
out
I'm
to
here
you.
today. That's why I'm here today.
That's why the finish is here.
That's why I'm here
Put
today.
me in my motherfucking place. That's your fault right here. I'm gonna blame it on the gym coach. Shout out to Gregory Garv and Coach Garv. You already know what it is. Shout out to the staff and the homies, man. Big shout out to Pearls Monroe. Episode 35. We here, man.
Yes,
We definitely here, man. You know what? I came in wrong, but I got corrected by a legend.
By the finisher.
By the finisher.
That's why the name
By the
is.
finisher.
That's why I have that acronym.
Yep. I didn't even get a chance to introduce this guy, but let me say this before I even get into that. I want to say, if all the people that's out here looking and seeing what's going on right now, I see that we kind of undercast right now. I'm gonna throw this out there. Shout out to Holla, right?
Holla.
She caught the COVID, so she knew she couldn't come up in here with it. Okay, we love you.
We love you.
Holla, feel better. Shout out to my brother Ricky. You know, he held up. He'll be back in about a week or two. You know, we're gonna free him until we see him. Nothing to worry about though. We got it. And it's episode 35. Shout out to the Halal Bros. You know how we coming. You know what we on. Oh man, today's a special day though. It's March 9th. Today is March 9th. This is the anniversary of the death of the late great Notorious BIG. Okay. This is March 9th. This is the day that Biggie was assassinated. And I felt like it was only right to have someone that was a very intricate part in his upbringing, his uprising, his stardom, his fame, his him getting on, him communicating with the world. No other than the legendary DJ, the finisher, Brooklyn's own, Bed-Stuy's own LG, Mister Cee. What's up, baby?
Appreciate you.
Biggie is back.
Appreciate you having me, man.
Oh man,
What's good with you, man? You good?
Hey, listen, I'm super good. We gonna get right into it, man. I want to say this guy is a legend, right? He's someone that is a pioneer of hip hop. He is a phenomenal DJ. He is also somebody that got me 2 lawsuits. Told you about that before.
You never told me about that.
I told you got me sued 2 times.
No, you're going to have to tell me about that.
I told you got me sued 2 times. I got sued over you, bro.
We have to discuss that.
Let's talk about it.
I never knew that.
Let's talk about it. Me and you.
Okay.
Was booked at a club.
Okay.
I want to say it was Schenectady or something like that.
Oh, I remember that one. That
okay.
I remember.
Remember this one?
Yeah.
I went crazy in there.
All
right? You got this style of DJing where you go crazy, right? You like, shorty, you with the bad shoes, with the fucked up hair. You, I'm talking to you. You not dancing. Get the fuck out of here. You was doing that in there, right? I performed this. I had one song back then. It was Hot Hater. Mm-hmm. First song. This is the first time I was actually traveling outside of New York City for music, right? It wasn't for no drugs. It wasn't for nothing else. It wasn't for doing nothing else. It wasn't for nothing illegal. It was for music. This was a dream come true. I've been going around the country. Was it Albany or Poughkeepsie? Okay, it was Poughkeepsie. And I get to the venue, and Mister Cee is playing, and he is going crazy. The club is sold out. It's packed. It's sweaty bitches in there. It is Woo! It is one of those nights. You was in rare form, finisher form. You started going ham on somebody in there. Yo, I'm talking to you with the bad hair and the small shoes. Get the fuck out of here. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember that night?
I remember that night very
Do
clearly.
you remember talking crazy?
I remember talking reckless.
That's part of something that you do that often.
Not as much as I used to. That was a part of the forte back then. Not as much as I used to. I'm 54 now. So
okay, understand, respectable. That's very, very young. Well, how did you do it? Like, what you would spot somebody or?
I got different ways of doing that because that's actually like a routine that I do. It's not
Right.
like I really am looking at a girl that's wearing cheap shoes.
That's what I thought.
It's really a routine.
That's what I thought.
You have to remember, like what we do. As you as a rapper and me as a DJ, we entertain.
Right.
So it's just that a lot of DJs don't entertain like that. A lot of DJs, they'll do the typical, you and your girlfriend, throw your hands up. That's my, they do the typical, that type of stuff. I take it to level 1000 when I do certain things in the club. And certain things I come up with on the spot.
Right.
And then there's some certain things that I have that, that it's just like a comedian. A comedian may have a joke that he may do every now and again. They, or whatever the case is. So sometimes it's a routine. Sometimes it's something that I come up with on the spot. But that is kind of like a routine because there's really no particular girl that I'm actually talking to.
Right. But they don't know that.
But they don't know that. And so if I say you in the green, there's literally nobody in the area that I'm pointing at that's got green on.
Right.
So the effect is I'm making everybody look for a girl that got green on, and they trying to look, and I'm talking, but they don't even know where this person is. But the effect of getting everybody's attention to look around to see who I'm talking about makes it work.
You did that night. You in the green. You bitch. I'm talking to you. Cheap hair, bad shoes. Get the fuck out of here. Crowd went nuts. I'm on stage with no shirt on. Per usual. You hear me, Georgie? I'm on stage with no shirt on.
I don't even like you, so it's okay.
Per usual. I'm on stage, no shirt on. Cee is going crazy. And then something happened with the people, with the crowd directly in front of me. They start talking crazy. Now, I didn't have the
grown manness that you have now?
The polish that I have now. Yeah, the polish.
The etiquette.
You ain't have the Jermaine in you.
Yeah, they have the Jermaine.
He's strictly Maino.
Yeah. I didn't have the polish, man.
Right.
I see something going on to the side of me with one of my, crew members or whatever you call them. And it was some friction. It was directly after you was going ham, though. It was directly after that. The crowd was so rowdy. And he was like, ah. And something was happening. And then I was just like, what's going on? I'm on the stage, we performing. I walks over to see what was going on. And it was a dude that was so irate. He was like, yo, shout out my hood, nigga. And I was like, I already shout out your hood, nigga. What's up? Yeah, shout out my hood, nigga. Da, 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 da. And part of being from where we come from, being in the street, being in the jail, like a lot of times that we get in our own way. We think niggas is trying to play with us.
Right.
We think niggas is trying to test us.
It's a Brooklyn thing too.
Yeah, but it's a pride thing. Like you like to use the word pride. It was an ego thing. I thought the nigga was playing with me. So I slapped the shit out of him. Right on stage.
What that got to do with me? How you say that got to do with me?
You riled them niggas up, see?
I riled them up for something totally different.
They was hype after that.
You was on Maino N.A. Rock. You was on that type of vibe.
I don't know. After you told the girl with the green shoes to get the fuck out, I don't know if them niggas would have got the fuck out, but they was riled up.
That routine, I used to take it so far that it used to be where I used to buy a case. I used to go to Payless and buy a case of shoes. Payless, the small flip flop, and then I would do the routine and just throw the shoes out in the crowd. My antics back then was. I seen
you go crazy.
It used to be crazy because I just wanted to. My whole thing was like always trying to be different from other DJs and do something different that other DJs don't do, but still can make it to where it's entertaining and where we can all have a good time and have fun. But if you if you really take it serious that I'm really doing that to somebody, you don't really know the character of who I am as Mister Cee
Right.
or who I am as Calvin, because who I am as Calvin is nothing. I'm not like that. But you have to entertain when you're on that stage.
I figured that what it was.
Has there ever been a time that you did that and shit got out
You
of
got me
control?
sued. I'm telling you now.
Not
Hold
yet.
on. After I slapped the shit out the nigga.
Yes, but I'm talking about like
No,
your
but
antics,
listen,
like somebody
After
thought
listen to
you
me.
were talking to them, or
Listen to
like
me.
they just started.
Nah, the
acting
closest
crazy.
thing that has happened, and I don't like to reveal too much of my tricks, but the closest thing that has happened, and this is something that I do in recent time. You know, like I'll do like there's a little routine that I do, and I'll be like, all the ladies in the club look down on the ground, and look at the type of shoes that dude is wearing. If you see a dude over 30 years old wearing a pair of Timbs, you know, then I'll throw on Broke Niggas to the Left. What's that record?
You disrespectful, see. You got that $200,000 that I had to pay out?
So
Do you have that $200,000 that I
has
got to
got
pay
me
out?
that routine, and I still do that. That routine
shit got me
has got a
fucked up.
couple of dudes like, yo, bro. So then I gotta be like, then I have to offset it. So because like I see your man right here, he got on the construction joint. So I have to offset it, and I'll be like, nah, the construction Timbs is good. You're good with the construction Timbs. So I'll offset it, because then a couple of dudes with the constructions be like looking at me. Then I'll
But
offset
then
it.
it's
and be like,
nobody in particular.
it's nobody in particular.
Just make sure if you got on constructions, they double so.
Like especially the older guys, like when I do these probably 30 and ups and 35 and up, you got on some Timbs, or if you got on some Air Force Ones, bro, like
They
if
better
you
be
got
right.
on some Timbs, make sure they are double soled. We are not taking
leave
single
that,
soled Timbs.
just leave that to
Or
the
no soul, the
leave-
ones with no soul.
Leave it.
And make sure that they're not laced up.
You know, it's like
tight.
I think, and maybe I'm wrong. I mean,
You
but
got
I
me
think
sued,
I think you
see?
get to a certain age where
You got me sued, see?
now you did that yourself, man. That was
200
you.
grand, $200,000, see?
When
did,
you gonna take responsibility?
I'm
for
not.
the action?
You know, you see what happened with me? That I did it. It did nothing happen. You supposed to, but you wasn't polished yet.
I wasn't polished, see?
You wasn't polished yet.
I got sued. They sued me, see?
Yeah, man.
They sued me for
Yeah.
the melee.
And the immortal words of
People got hurt.
and the immortal words of Cameron. You be all right.
You really slapped somebody in the club though.
That started
And
a
then
big
you-
fight.
But then you blaming it on.
But he
him.
was a different type of dude back then. You was a different type of dude.
He slapped a couple of people. I know.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Let's keep it funky. If
Funky.
when we got to know each other
Yeah.
in the early stages, when you used to be in front of High 97 getting your music
You was a
on,
mean ass DJ.
Yeah,
nigga.
I was, and if
You
I
was-
didn't,
you was
and
a
if you
fucking
didn't,
mean
and if
DJ.
you didn't know my brother, if you didn't have that,
Right.
if you
Knowledge,
didn't know my
yeah.
brother, if you didn't know
I
my
was
brother
trying to
knowledge,
let you know that.
if you didn't know,
I was
if you didn't
sending
know my
niggas over to
brother,
the studio
I would
for the
have
vehicle with hammers on.
I would have got served up by
Real,
this dude.
like, tell this nigga, what's going on? Like, what's going on?
and
Oh, we over
my
here
brother
ready.
knowledge has been long gone. Rest in peace to my
Hey,
brother knowledge.
Hey,
but
rest
my
in-
the
rest in peace to
respect
knowledge, man.
that you have for my brother
That's a
knowledge
fact.
held you back
That's a fact.
from bringing it to me on the early side
That's
when
a
we got
fact.
to know each other.
That's a fact. You know what? The game was different, and for me, it was like I was trying to get in, and I didn't. Nobody wrote a manual on
Right.
what to do.
Step
You
by
know what I
step
mean?
booklet.
Do you remember what was the club that was down in Fort Greene? Like it was a club down in Fort Greene
Cafe,
Project. Brooklyn Cafe, was
Cafe.
it?
Oh yeah.
When I first came home, that was open. And I'm down there, in Fort Greene is our home. Shout out to everybody from the fort. We was down there one night and you was DJing, and I want to say that Remy was performing.
Okay.
I didn't know nobody knew me from in the music world. In the streets, that's something different.
Right.
So I had a CD and I sent it to somebody, and you told whoever it was, I'm not playing that. You was stern. I looked at you like, yeah, we might have to test Cee. But you was stern on that, and later on I got to understand why your position was what it was, though. Because if it was just that easy, then it was just like you would play anybody, and that can't be it. Like if I'm somewhere and it's just like, yo, here, man, no, just listen to music. Like it's like, oh, whoa, come on, nigga. So I got to understand once I got in the game, you know.
And
what I
then
mean?
once you started progressing as an artist, and you started making those right records,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it's all about the body of work. If you got the body of work, you're gonna get in.
Right.
If you got the body of work, and if you work hard and you get into the right situations, you're gonna get in. So with you, even though I gave you a hard time in the beginning, once you stepped up your body of work, our relationship was solid from
It definitely was.
that on. There's been times where me and you had to confide in me about other situations you had with other DJs that I had to be like, bro.
I was calling you like, listen, I'm about to send niggas over there.
And I'd be like, yo, bro, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, I'm about to see if these niggas is really about what they say.
And then that person, you and that person then became cool.
That's a fact.
You feel what I'm saying?
You talked me off the ledge a couple times, but it was a time I remember when you had me in my feelings, and I was an artist already. I couldn't understand it, but it was just some DJ shit, and then I had to understand it was nothing. It was nothing personal. I went down to Atlanta back in I want to say because I got cool. I got very very tight with T.I. Shout out to Tip. And you know, I was coming down to Atlanta all the time. We was bringing trucks down there, and we was down there. And I got cool with the whole Grand Hustle, and we was down there all the time in Atlanta back in I want to say 07, 06, right? It was a record that started popping out of there by an artist named Shorty Low, right? They know.
Right.
I met them back then, and they had that record popping. I said, yo, this shit crazy. They gave me the instrumental to the beat, right? They gave it to me, right? I forgot it was his DJ or whatever. They gave it to me. I bought it. I came to New York with it. I called Lil Kim. I said, yo, let's do this. This shit is crazy. Me and Lil Kim did the They Know. I went first. She went second. Busta sent me his verse, and I put Busta Rhymes verse third. Nigga. You used to jump over me and play Kim verse. I'm going crazy. How? And I'm just like, and I'm like, yo, Kim, like, why you keep jumping over my verse? My shit is first to get to yours. Like, what is that? He said, oh, I mean, come on, babe. He's my DJ. And I'm like, what the fuck? He's my DJ too. Everybody fucking DJ.
But it goes back to what I just said earlier about getting your weight up and getting your weight up and getting your weight up. So it's like if there's a record with you and Kim,
right,
and you ain't there yet, you're not there yet, and I'm in the mix.
No, I wasn't there yet.
You wasn't there yet.
This is pre High Hater.
Right,
around the time High Hater just came out.
I'm going straight to Kim. Could have been Hove on there. Could have been Bust. It could have been just you and Bus. And look. I don't even think I played Busta's part. I just played Kim.
You just played Kim part. I was mad as a motherfucker.
So was it that he wasn't?
It's a combination of two things. He wasn't there yet, and I don't mean to cut you off. Because you're beautiful, by the way. You're very pretty.
Whoa! What? Get some rounds. What? She used to hearing that too. She gonna get a boyfriend off the show one day.
So, it was a combination of two things. He wasn't there yet, and then number two, it's all about the strength of the record. As a DJ, when you're playing records, you want to go to the strength of the record. What's the best part of the record or whatever the case is. And so you're on the radio, you ain't, if the record is not strong enough to play the whole 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, you want to go to the best part of the record. So for me, I went straight to Kim, you know what I mean, on that record. Because he's telling the actual fact. So it was a combination of those two things. So, but once again, it's about credibility. And even though he was building his credibility at the time, doing stuff with Kim and all of that type of stuff, it was like, I'm still waiting for the one. I'm still waiting for the one.
Yeah, that was like pre-High Hater. It was like it
wasn't it? Yeah,
era.
it's okay.
It wasn't there yet. But I was talking crazy. Man, no, I keep it gangsta. Yeah, I was talking crazy. But
once again, my respect for him, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but my respect for you got to a point to where now it's like, if I was on Hot 97, you was dropping freestyles.
Yeah,
the jukes is the jukes.
That's right. We was doing shit together,
and then I would just get your joint on or whatever. It got to that point because once again, credibility. So you had to get from point A to point B with me. But once you got to from A to B, we was solid.
No question.
Now that A to B was a little bit of a climb.
A to B was crazy. That was times my stomach was in knots.
But once you got the B, it was all worth. Wasn't it all worth it when you got there? Wasn't it all worth it?
You know what? It always is, and then I try to find understanding and trying to understand, right? So the DJ has a job, and at this point, you are the music coordinator, right? The music director of Hot 97.
I was the music coordinator.
The music coordinator. So you not only just a DJ, but you are part of the structure of Hot 97.
At that time, part of management. I was all the DJs supervisor.
Right. So you was like the person to see about getting records played. So, as an artist though, like we emotional about our shit. Like we all artists feel like we the shit. You know what I mean? Whether this record is it or not, like we really feel attached to this music that we making in a emotional way. So for me, it was just, and for any artist, I watched them go through that. Now, as I look back on it, I understand it more. I understand it more because it's a business, and you got a job to do, and it's not just about you. You got fucking what is it, 30, 40 records that you got to figure out.
Right. Which
ones is making a list, which ones is not. Like, so it's a thing though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a process. It's definitely a process when you doing, and man, I was at Hot 97 for 21 years, from 1993, from 1993 to.
Whoa, I want to talk about that.
To 2014, 21 years I was there. So
I want to talk about that.
To dissect a 2-hour mix. I don't know how other DJs was doing it when they do it, but for me to dissect a 2-hour mix and make it entertaining to 2 million listeners at any given 10, 15 minutes, you want to get to the crust of the root of where you want to go to. And I took it, and to this day, even with me doing Rock the Bells Radio on LL Cool J station, to this day, I'm a very tedious, very meticulous type of person when it comes down to my DJing thing.
No, I will agree with that. But I want to get into you, Hot 97, the origins of Hot 97. Hot 97, when I first heard it back in early 90s, it was not even a rap station. It was like a dance station, and Flex was on it.
Correct.
I'm correct, right? It was they would play CC Peniston. And, finally it happened to me, right? Shit like that.
That's a fact.
She don't remember that.
Yes, I do. Right in
No,
front
you don't know that.
of my face, honey, let's get it
Right it. What?
Excuse me. I'm not that.
Okay, CC Peniston and shit like that. But before we get into Hot 97, it was always a Mister Cee. All right? Let's take it back to Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, because that's where you from. You from a very popular projects in Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, Lafayette Gardens.
LG.
Did you?
But is that Bed-Stuy?
It is Bed-Stuy.
LG?
LG is
Isn't that
Bed-Stuy.
Clinton
LG
Hill?
is
No. LG is Bed-Stuy.
Oh, okay.
And let's see, and that just goes to how much you know.
First of all, relax.
That is Bedford Stuyvesant.
Relax.
I just got almost offended by that.
It's a cusper, right?
No,
it's no cusp.
The cusp only is because of Clausen, but
right.
after Clausen is Clinton Hills.
Classic.
Okay, Clausen.
Okay.
Okay.
No you in. Go ahead.
Did you grow up DJing? Did you grow up rapping? Did you grow up wanting to be a part of the culture? Like, how did this go? Because for as far as I remember, you was always a DJ.
Yeah, go in my left hand pocket of that my coat right there, bro. I was DJing. I was DJing since I was 6 years old. Okay, and my uncle, rest in peace to my uncle Barry, and my next door neighbor Anthony. We grew up in the project. Both of them is no longer here. My uncle Barry and my next door neighbor Anthony. I learned how to DJ from them. And when I really, really started getting into DJing was around 12 years old from my Uncle Barry and my next door neighbor Anthony. But, according to my father, rest in peace to my father, Calvin LeBrun Sr., I'm junior, I basically been DJing since I was like 3 years old. So what I'm getting ready to show y'all is a picture of me 3 years old holding a 45 in my hand at 3 years old. And my father gave me that picture before he passed away in 1993.
We got to put this up on the screen.
I'll send it to y'all. I'll send it to y'all. So that is that's a record. That's a record player. That's a record. So when I'm on, and I know you a little bit younger. So what I'm holding was what's called
like
a 45.
Stymie from the Little Rock.
That's a 40. That's a 45 record that I'm holding. and that's the record
That's
player
fire.
by. So this is 3 years old.
Wow.
That's a
So-
fire picture.
So my father gave me that before he passed away in '93, and he said to me, I knew this is what you was going to do. So that's from 3 years old. But when I really, really recognized what I wanted to do was at 12 through my Uncle Barry and my next door neighbor Anthony. I used to sneak on their DJ set and then kind of started learning how to DJ.
And you used to come out and DJ in LG in the park.
In the park.
I remember that. And part of seeing you when I came home from prison and wanting to be on, I felt a little bit like nigga, like I know you, like, you know what I'm saying? Even though you didn't really know me,
Right.
because when I was little, I would see you in the park,
Right.
right? First time I ever seen Big Daddy Kane was in the park behind 470. The park behind.
That's when we shot our video. We shot 2 videos. That was in 1994. We shot a video for a song
But even
called.
earlier than that, on some rapping shit.
Nah, we shot the
that's
time
right.
you saw us in the back.
Yeah.
That was definitely. We did a 2-day video shoot for 2 videos in the PJs and a song called Show and Prove.
Right. But you was doing the jams though.
Right.
in the
Yeah,
park.
yeah.
Right. How did you get with Kane though?
Me and Kane went to the same high school. We went to Sarah J. Hill High School.
Sarah J.
Hey, shout out to Sarah J, man.
Not
And back
Sarah
then-
J anymore.
Back then, I don't know if they
Kim
still
and them went to Sarah J.
right. Kim
later
went to
on.
Sarah J. And I
Yeah.
don't know if they do that now. Do this now in New York City public schools, but back then, I was trying to go to. I was trying to get accepted to Edward R. Murrow for radio
My
broadcasting.
sister went tomorrow.
So I applied for Edward R. Murrow, didn't get accepted. So back then, if you didn't get accepted to the school that you applied for, they would send you to your zone school.
Yeah, that's what
Sarah
happened to
J
me.
was the zone.
That's what happened to me.
So which was the school nearest in your area where you lived. So I got sent to Sarah J. Hale because I didn't get accepted to Edward R. Murrow. And at that time, Sarah J. Hale was a school for cosmetology, for doing hair and makeup and all that. So if you didn't, either you had to go to Sarah J, you had to go to Boys and Girls, or you had to go
Right.
these different high schools in the area. So
Shit.
right. So I went to Sarah J, and then Kane. That's how I met Kane and Sarah J. Hill.
So did you meet him on some rap shit? Or
I
like-
was in the. I walked in the lunchroom, and I'm sorry. Let me get the story right. Damn. I was battling. There was a kid in the lunchroom. I forget his name, but it was a mutual friend of me and Kane's, and he was like rapping in front of some chicks. I was down with a crew in Lafayette Garden Projects in LG called the Magnum Force, where I was the DJ, and it was another DJ named AJ Fresh. So it was me and him, and it was 5 MCs. Back in that days in the 80s, it was like 5 MCs, 1 DJ, 2 DJs. So, but there was this dude rapping in the lunchroom at Sarah J, and I told him I'll battle him because he was trying to impress some chicks. Now I'm not a rapper, but I said I'll battle him, but I was using my rap crew's rhymes against him. Because I'm down with a crew, so I know their rhymes.
Nigga was cheating.
So this is back in the era of banging on the tables in the lunchroom.
Of course.
So we going at each other, and I'm using my crew, the Magnum Force crew, rhymes against him.
Right.
I took him out in the battle. So he's like, I'm gonna get my man MC Kane on you. I'm gonna get MC Kane.
MC.
Shout out to MC Kane, man.
So we walk out of the lunchroom, and there's a dude. And y'all gonna have to pull up a photo. If you ever look at an old photo of Curtis Blow, when Curtis Blow used to wear like the waist leather jacket, like the white waist leather jacket.
Right.
We walk out the lunchroom. There's a dude wearing a Curtis Blow looking jacket,
Right.
and he comes up to me, and he's like, "Yo, I heard you took my man. I heard you want to battle." And we in high school.
Right.
And he pulls out a ELI mic out of his inside pocket.
Wow.
Now, a ELI mic, you can Google it. A ELI mic, there used to be different colors. You had the red, you had the blue, you had the white. This dude, MC Kane, pulled out a ELI, maybe it was a blue or white. I think it was a white mic. And was like, y'all heard you want to battle my man. He ain't got the mic hooked up no way. He just got the mic in his inside pocket. So I said, yo, I was like, yo, I don't want to battle. I don't want to battle. I'm like, nah, we good. So that was that. So like maybe a week or two later, I go back in the lunchroom and there's a big crowd. And I go over there to where the crowd is at, and there's this dude rapping, and the only line I remember is him saying, I got braids in my hair just like Stevie Wonder. So this is like, when he said that line, this is 81, 82. I mean, maybe 83, somewhere around there.
Right.
And when I heard that line, I was like, he got to rock with me. So after he was rhyming, this is the MC Kane dude.
Right.
After he was rhyming, then I was like, yo, I got a crew from my hood, from LG.
Right.
Come around my way and, check me and my crew out. Nah, man, I only rhyme solo, man. I don't really rock with nobody. I just rhyme solo.
So you wanted to put him down with what you had.
Yeah,
going
right. So I said, yo, just come around my way and just see how I get down or whatever the case is,
Right.
So he came to LG, came to my man crib where I had the DJ set up. He heard how I play. He was sold. He was like, oh, you incredible. I got to rock with you. So he was down with myself and the Magnum Force,
Wow.
Big Daddy Kane.
That's the good old days.
He wasn't Big Daddy yet, though.
He was MC Kane. So then I went to his house. The very first time that I went to his house, his mother house, Kane lived on Lewis Avenue and Lafayette Avenue in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn.
Right, that's best style. No, that's best style.
And I will never forget
That's some respect.
when I first went to his house, his room was like all the way in the back. And I go in the room and I had to walk around his room, you had to move stuff because he had a bunch of walking canes dangling from the ceiling in his bedroom.
Wow.
Why?
Kane.
I
So
know.
that's what he was just on some
Kane.
shit.
That's weird.
So
though.
he had a bunch of all different types of canes. All different
So he used them like he.
No, they was dangling from the ceiling. And you had to move the canes around to walk around in the room.
That was his thing.
That was his thing.
Wow.
MC Kane.
Wow.
So that's how Big Daddy Kane had the name MC Kane, because he was into Kane. That was his first thing. He was into canes. So when you walk in his room, you had to
Right.
bypass all the canes dangling
Right.
from the ceiling.
But was that like a pimp thing? Was that like what?
I guess it was that was his fascination. He was in love with walking canes. So it turned into that. Then there was a classic TV show called Kung Fu. I don't know if you remember that. It was a classic TV show called Kung Fu with an actor named David Carradine.
Mhm.
His name and that was one of Kane's favorite TV shows, and his name in the show was called Kane.
Oh, wow.
So that the combination of that is how he got the name Kane, and then it became Big Daddy Kane.
I never knew that.
Big Daddy.
So, but where did the Big Daddy come from?
That you have to ask him.
I think that's his little
Today I don't. Because he was always into black exploitation movies. The old movies like Foxy Brown and the Mac and those type of movies. So I think his fascination with the black exploitation movies got him into put the Big Daddy in front of Kane. Because you also have to remember at that time, Maino, is that a lot of rappers was had the A, the B, or the D, or the C. Chuck D, Run DMC, you know what I mean? Like everything was
Right.
Mister Cee, like
Jazzy
everything.
J.
You know what I mean? Like Jam, you know what I mean? Like, so he tried to separate himself from the rest to have a name to where it didn't have like the C, the D, the G at the end.
It was out of the ordinary of that time.
Right, at that time, exactly.
How did y'all go about So
then we started doing shows together locally.
You and him.
Me, Kane, and the rest of the crew, the Magnum Force. We started doing shows together around Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. We would perform at the Transit Hall. That was on Willoughby Avenue and Nostrand.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would perform at Willoughby Hall, which was right directly across the street.
Mm-hmm.
Then we would perform at Sumner Armory.
Mm-hmm.
That's on
that's
Sumner.
right.
So these different places all around Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. Of course, doing park jams and stuff like that. But there was a promoter from Lafayette Gardens, from LG. His name was Eric D.
I remember.
Not
I remember
Eric B.
Yeah.
Eric D. And he was a
I remember
promoter.
that name. Yeah,
And he was a promoter
as a kid.
from Lafayette Gardens.
Right.
And he used
Eric
to throw all
Parties.
of these,
Yeah.
all around Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. So he
Right.
would have myself and Kane perform. Everybody that was in LG rapping or whatever, we would perform. But then he would have Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince perform. Biz Markie perform. And they had records out. Dougie Fresh, Salt and Pepper. So we was opening up for them, back in 85, 86. or what have you.
This is when things were fun.
Yeah,
You could
$3
actually-
parties, $3
Come on,
parties.
You over here battling in high school, like y'all at lunch just having rap battles
Absolutely.
or whatever. Like that's fun. I wish we still had that today.
We still got that
No, we
on
don't.
Instagram. Get lit.
No, we got we got Timberland and
Versus.
the verses. We got the
Yeah,
verses.
and that's as close as we get. But just thinking, like, you know what I mean, you could have fun in school.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like people are forming crews, but
And
and,
then-
y'all battling against each other. Y'all have parties that y'all could go to, everybody having a good time. You get what I'm saying? It was more about being cool and the women and all of this. I
Right.
mean, it is like that now, but it's just a little it's
And then Biz Markie used to come to our school, and Biz was a little, established, and he used to come to our school.
Mhm.
And then Kane and Biz battled at Albee Square Mall.
I'll be
They had a
square
battle, a
more.
rap battle,
Remember
and
that?
Kane smoked them. And when Kane smoked them, Biz was like, "No, you need to get down with me." And then Biz was like, "When I get a
Wow.
record deal, you get a record deal." And then when
Wow.
Biz came out with "Make the Music with Your Mouth," Biz, then we was on Cold Chillin' Records at that time, and Biz told the owner of Cold Chillin', Fly Ty, "You got to put my man Kane on."
So is that how y'all got down with the Juice Crew?
Right. Because once Biz got successful with the Make the Music record, Make
Right.
the Music with Your Mouth, Biz, he told Fly Ty, "You got to put Kane on."
And Fly
And
Ty
then
was connected
and Kane wrote
Marley.
"Nobody Beats the Biz."
Oh wow.
Kane wrote that song.
This is fucking hip hop history right here.
Facts.
I want all you niggas in here, all you niggas, to understand what's happening right here. This is hip hop.
Pay attention.
Yeah, so the record that we all know and love, this.
All the
Yeah.
party people know
So that was enough. So once Kane wrote that-
then I am the nympho.
Know the lyrics. Know the lyrics. Know the lyrics. Because that's not it.
Once Kane wrote that, then that was it. Then we was in the door, and then we started doing our
So
thing.
y'all was down with the Juice Crew at that point,
Right,
there.
because Kane wrote "Nobody Beats the Biz." Kane wrote, I don't know, you know the other Biz record. I don't know if you know the other Biz record, "Pickin' Boogers."
Of course I do.
Kane wrote
Because
that.
I know that whole album.
Right. So
I know that
now
whole-
here it
everything.
is. This man is writing for Biz about how to pick your nose. So it just tell you how lyrically inclined that Kane was, that he can take himself outside of the box and write for that
Wow.
man who was known as being a funny dude and put him in a funny situation and talk about picking your nose.
Big Daddy Kane was the epitome of what we thought a rapper looked like or felt like in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about growing up as a young kid, baby, crack 80s. You understand? Crack is in the street. Our fathers and shit is on crack. Our mothers are trying to figure things out. And we outside playing around in the back, throwing shit at the cars and glass and stealing and
Being badasses.
being badass kids. And the soundtrack to that is Big Daddy Kane.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'm with this.
This is what it was in that era, right?
Back to this nice mellow beat, Rappers stepping to me, they wanna get some, but I'm the king, so yo,
you know the outcome, another victory.
They can't get
Oh
with
my
me, so
God.
they can be CJ,
Oh my
'cause you're
God.
history.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
that was the era.
Oh my God.
That's how we came up through Biz Markie.
I seen Kane come on my block. And he had the Volvo,
The kid with the kid on it.
the kit.
With the Louis
It was
Vuitton
a
kit.
white Volvo, right?
With the Louis Vuitton
Some shit on the
kit.
side or something, right?
Yeah.
And he was coming to see some older girl on my block, older lady on my block. And he got out, he had the big, truck jewelry and on and shit like that. And I remember feeling like I didn't relate to him though. Because I had idolized street niggas. I had idolized street niggas so much that there was no connection between street niggas and rappers at that point for me.
Right.
The street nigga and rapper didn't coincide back then. It started to later on. But I remember seeing him, and I remember being in awe because this was Big Daddy Kane on my block, and then everybody was just like, "Oh my God, Kane!" And it was crazy. And we from Bed-Stuy, so but coming from Bed-Stuy, I don't know if people understand. It's like hometown heroes. You know, we got Kane and the greatest Notorious BIG and Jay-Z and
Right.
and Fabulous, and it's just a list of great artists. That
Please
come
don't
from,
take yourself out the list.
I'm not
The mark that you made.
Nah,
Please
definitely.
don't take yourself
I'm
outside
not,
of the list.
I'm not gonna take myself out of it
because
but
you made your mark.
Yeah, definitely.
Hold on, you made your mark, and you rep Brooklyn
definitely,
as well.
definitely.
So you know what I mean? Like,
Definitely.
you can give him some claps. Give him some claps.
Claps.
You made your mark as well.
No, definitely. But
So
I appreciate
don't
that.
take
man.
yourself out of the equation.
I appreciate that. But
Don't take yourself out of the history books. Never take yourself out of the history.
I'm in there.
Look at
You're in the history
I'm
books.
in there.
Smiling mad hard. He's smiling.
No, I'm smiling because I'm in there.
I'm in there.
No, I'm fucking in there. Star shit. Speaking of Bed-Stuy.
KOB.
That's right. Speaking of Bed-Stuy and artists like Notorious B.I.G. Oh man. Not only was you a part of the history with Big Daddy Kane, our like premier first fucking rapper that come from the star, but you also responsible for finding Big Papa, Notorious B.I.G. Like, I grew up 2 blocks from 50 Grand. We used to go to 50 Grand's house. Shout out to Anti. Shout out to Deck 50. We used to go to the basement to the parties as a kid. And I remember as a kid seeing Big in the basement, rapping in the basement. I remember Big on the corner of Bedford and Quincy vividly.
Right.
Because the documentary is out right now, and I want to talk about your whole process in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the doc is out. I got a story to tell on Netflix, but to make a long story long, I basically met Biggie through his first DJ, 50 Grand.
Shout out to 50 Grand, man.
That's how I met Big.
I almost shot the party up a couple times, but it's all love, man.
But I met Biggie through his first DJ, 50 Grand, and he told me he had this basement demo on this kid from Fulton Street named Big. And he wanted me to hear the demo. And I told 50 Grand at the time that I was getting ready to go on the road with Kane. I don't remember what date I told him I was coming back. Let's say if I said, y'all be back September 23rd. When I come back, I'll come to my crib because I lived on Gates, Bedford, and Franklin at that time.
Right. You still in the area.
I was still in the area.
Right.
So I'm like, come back to my crib, September 23rd when I get off the road, and I'll listen to it. The night that I came back, that night, I ain't even unpacked my turntables, my luggage. He's in front of my house with the demo.
So it's 50 and Biggie.
Right, basement demo. And the crazy thing about when I first heard this demo was it was Biggie rhyming over the same sample that me and Kane used for Ain't No Half Stepping that we used, that y'all heard earlier.
I heard that.
So this was the demo.
Hold on, see.
This was the demo.
What is it? You got it?
Oh yeah. You know the laptop, the Bible's heavy.
Shit, let's get it.
It's a demo. It's a demo. It's a
Oh,
demo.
this
It's a
is
demo.
that
Real
shit.
one. It's a demo. 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 Murder of mass.
1991.
Oh my God. So he already had that.
That was the demo.
Right, he had that. He played that. That was what he had
That's what
already.
50 Grand played for me.
They made that in the basement over
And
on
then,
Lexington.
on Lexington and between Bedford and
Nostrand and
Bedford.
Bedford.
Yeah. So I told 50 Grand we need
Shout
to,
out to 50,
we
man.
need to
Shout out
remake
to
the demo.
Decky. Shout out to Anti, man.
So I told 50 Grand we need to remake the demo and submit it to the Source magazine, and that's what we did. And and then the rest.
So So let me ask you this: you was sold on the rhymes, like you was like.
I was sold on the rhymes, and I was sold on. It was like, you remember I just told you the story about how I heard Kane, how amazed I was when I heard Kane with that one line. I got braids in my hair just like Stevie Wonder. When I heard that line, loot like Michael Jackson, kicks like Bo Jackson, bitches like Freddie Jackson, no need to ask in my crew. Oh, no fronting, no faking moves, fighting and fucking. The same thing, we stick and move. When I heard that.
We
stick and move.
Fighting and fucking, it's the same thing.
That's 1991.
No, I didn't understand.
We stick and move.
Fighting and fucking is the same thing. We sticking and moving.
So when I heard that on the same beat that me and Kane used for Ain't No Half Stepping, I'm like, this is Kane all over again. This is Kane on steroids. He don't sound like Kane. He don't rhyme like Kane. But to me, in my eyes, it's like, this is like, it was that same reaction that I got when I heard Kane all over again, if you understand what I'm saying.
I understand it. So at this point, you already solidified DJ Mister Cee. You
with
already
Kane. We done put out albums,
Kane.
3-4 albums.
You already successful in your own right. Are you on Hot 97 yet?
No.
Not on Hot 97
This is 91. No Hot 97
91
Hot 97 wasn't even in existence.
Okay, it was, but it wasn't a rap station.
No, right. It wasn't a hip-hop station.
It wasn't a hip-hop station. You felt like, what was the best move to go from there?
Like I said,
you had to think about this.
No, I didn't have to think at all. It was like there was two situations going on, and the second one I rarely tell the story, so I'm going to give this to you. So the one situation, which is all documented in the I Got a Story to Tell documentary, we redid this demo because the demo, if you hear it, is very airy and hissy. We redid it. I submitted to Matty C from the Source because he had a contest called Unsigned Hype, where you can submit demos and then a possibility of you getting a record deal. Right. So we submitted it. Then they featured Biggie in the Source magazine.
Him and 50.
Right, him and 50 Grand. They featured him.
Right.
Then Puff is asking Matty, "Yo, I see you got the Unsigned Hype contest. Who's like the best rap over there?" Matty C says, "Yo, I got this dude, Biggie Small than Hitman 50 Grand." And Puff asks Matty, "How does he look?" And Matty C says, "Well, he's not the best looking rapper in the world, but he can rap his ass off." Then Puff says to Matty, "Well, how do I get in contact with him?" And then Matty said, "You got to hit Mister Cee up." So Puff hits me up. That's when we had the 1-800-SCOT pages.
That's right, yeah.
And Puff hits me up, and then I got in touch with Puff, and then that's how we set up a meeting at Uptown for Biggie to meet Puff. But at that same time that was going on, I'm going to put you on the game. At that same time that was going on, I was shopping a Mister Cee album.
Really?
Okay? So at that time, DJs had albums out. Kid Capri had an album.
That's right.
Terminator X from Public Enemy had his own album. Pete Rock had this record out called The Creator that was very big in 1992. So a bunch of DJs had their own thing going on. So I was trying to do a Mister Cee album. And I'm shopping at different labels, like 5 songs. One of the songs was actually me rapping on it, but that's another story.
What?
But that's another story.
We need to hear this.
I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have that in the Bible.
Spit it.
I don't have that. I don't have that in the Bible. I don't have that in the Bible.
You got it in your head.
I do have. All right, we're gonna get to it. We'll get to it. I can play the rhyme that I did.
No, I don't want to play it.
You do want to play it, because I'll get to that in a minute. Okay. But so there was in this demo, this 5-song Mister Cee album demo. There was one song that I was rapping on. There was a song that I had with Blase Blase. If you remember Blase,
East New York.
And I was actually their road manager. You may not know that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I was their road manager. So I had a song with them, but I also had a song by Biggie on this demo, on this 5-song demo. And it was called Biggie Got the Hype Shit. So I'm shopping it to all these different record labels. And nobody, basically all these labels was like, "Yo, see, these other songs is cool, but who is this Biggie dude? Who's this Biggie Got the Hype Shit?" So the album of me shopping my album turned into the everybody, Jive Records, Def Jam, everybody wanted to know who Biggie was. And it was all because of this song that I had on the demo that I rarely ever play. And it's called Biggie Got the Hype Shit.
Let's get into it.
You ready?
Let's go.
1992.
Well, who is Biggie Small?
Notorious Biggie Small, in full effect. Got my DJ 50 grand.
I know you never heard it.
I'ma drop a nice long rhyme on this funky track. You know how we get down, yo. Shake your head and say damn when the words from Big Man explode like an ash can while DJ 50 grand kick beats like Van Damme. That fighting ass nigga introducing a supreme bigger nigga. Yes, it's the beat. I break with the bonus. Love much bums and bitch ass opponents. Bust blood out your brain. Break your backbone. Send your back home. Back to the wax zone.
So that was for Mister Cee's album.
I heard that.
Of course you didn't. And so that was on Mister Cee's album.
God
and then nobody
damn.
cared about Mister Cee album. Everybody wanted to know about that and who was Biggie. So that was going on at the
So
same
you was shopping this.
I'm shopping
at
this.
the same time the
at the
unsigned
same
hype.
time, the unsigned hype.
Wow.
But then when Puff, we had the meeting with Puff. And then when we had the meeting with Puff at Uptown, Puff asked Biggie to rhyme on the spot. I need you to kick a rhyme a cappella. And Biggie kicked the rhyme a cappella in Puff's office at Uptown.
Mm-hmm.
And when I can't remember the rhyme, but when he kicked the rhyme, Puff was like, "Y'all can have a record out on you by the summer. Would you be cool with that?" Because it was a winter meeting.
Right.
And Biggie was like, "Yo, just talk to Cee. Whatever Cee say, go. Just talk to Cee." And then we worked it out with me and Puff, and we did the deal. And Puff was originally signed to Uptown Records, not Bad Boy.
Right. I remember that. It was no Bad Boy then. And
Right.
Biggie was signed to Bad Boy. I mean, he was signed to
Uptown with Andre
Records
Harrell.
originally.
Rest in peace with Andre Harrell.
So at this point, are you Biggie's manager?
It was never really official that I was his manager, but I was basically, because it, like I said, everything, the tables turned from me shopping my album to everybody being interested in Big. So it kind of, once the tables turned, then I started trying to get Big in there. Like, truth be told, I had a production deal with Big, right? And when we've initially, and I know when I'm getting ready to say this, there's going to be so many comments of people going to say that I'm stupid, but when I initially did the deal with Puff, I had a production deal when I had Big signed to my production company. But when I did the deal with Puff, Puff did not want to sign Big to a production deal. He didn't want to sign him through my company. So I let Big go to sign with Uptown.
So you basically took yourself out of the equation.
I took myself out of the equation, and I got my 1 point off of his, off the album and all of that as an executive producer, associate executive producer. I got the point off the album, but originally I had him as signed to a production.
He basically
deal.
was signing you.
He was signed to me, and then when I did the deal with Puff, Puff was like, "I don't do production deal," but Puff, the deal with Uptown and with Andre, it was so much of a great deal for the kid, for Big, that I just did not want to pigeonhole him. I didn't want to hold him up. And so even though there was other deals on the table, they was talking nowhere near the money that Andre Harrell and Puff was talking.
That was the perfect matchup. So you actually responsible for the Big being aligned with Puff.
Yeah, and then the other thing too for me, because when I did the meeting with Puff, Biggie didn't know who Puff was at all.
Right.
So I had to explain to Big, I was like, Puff used to be a dancer, used to be a dancer. And then I had to mention to Big about City College, the whole thing what happened at City College when people got trampled at the celebrity basketball game that Puff threw.
That was kind of like his claim to fame
yeah,
at that point.
Unfortunately, right.
Unfortunately.
So when I mentioned that to Big, then he was like, "Oh, okay, I know Duke. So I know who Duke is." So, I had to get Big acquainted with who Puff was, but because of the success that Puff had with Mary at the time, and because
and
Jodeci, Father MC, Heavy D, those four elements right there, those artists right there, just Jodeci, those elements just showed me where Puff was going and what he was trying to do. At that time, he was with Andre just as an A&R, but I saw the vision of where Puff was really trying to go as far as being an entrepreneur.
So is it safe to say that that BIG signing with Puff was part of your vision also?
It was actually definitely part of my vision, because I could have been stingy and just been like, nah, I'm gonna just keep him, because it's not like I wasn't aware.
Right.
It wasn't like I wasn't smart enough. I already had a situation where I was with Kane and we were signed to a record label.
Right.
So I already knew the game. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like
Did you bring him to Kane?
Kane was the very first person that ever heard Biggie.
Really?
I brung Biggie to Kane, but at that time, Kane was working with Hove and Source Money.
Wow.
And so Kane was like, yo, I got a little bit too much on the plate because I'm working with Jay-Z and Source Money. So Kane was like, Kane always gave it up to Big, but he was just like, yo, I'm really trying to focus on Source Money because he was working with 3 artists, Source Money, Jay-Z, and Positive K.
Did he think that Big was dope?
No, he thought Big was dope from the gate, but it's just like, see, I got this stuff going on.
Wow. So you are actually the glue between Big and Puff.
Absolutely.
Glue between a lot of things.
Right. So Big getting signed to Puff, going off to become the king of New York, who he became for us and inspiring, millions of us that wanted to rap. How did you feel, or did you feel some kind of way because you wasn't a part of the business?
Absolutely not. Because once again, I made that decision. I made the decision, and like I said, I served as the executive producer for the Ready to Die album and the Born Again album, because they came back to me for the Born Again album because they needed some Biggie acapellas and some unreleased stuff.
Right.
So they came back to me for the Born Again album. So I served as associate executive producer for that album. But I never felt slighted, or I never felt like I should have done this. Let me tell you something. Biggie had asked me to be his manager. He asked me to be his road manager. He asked me to be his DJ. Like, he always wanted me to be associated with him. And I told Big from the gate, I said, listen, if I have control of your career, you're not going to be able to do all the stuff that y'all do, all that smoking weed and all that reckless and all that. I'm going to run a tight ship. Because from where I come from with me and Kane, we ran a tight ship. So my thing is, this is your time. Have your fun. Enjoy yourself. Because if I am controlling your career, you're not going to have, it's going to be different.
It's going to be a father figure.
I'm going to be so much more hands-on. So to me, it's like, I'm a realist. Like, I didn't want to put that strain on them. Enjoy your time. Enjoy your time. This is your time. Enjoy your time. The other thing too is that also my whole thing with Hot 97, I had just got on Hot 97 in 93.
93, Hot 97.
Right.
And Big is already on his way.
On his way.
Is Party and Bullshit out yet?
Party and Bullshit is out.
So Party and Bullshit came out before you got on Hot 97.
Right. Or maybe around the same time, because Hot 97 started. No, I started in Hot 97 in 94. But Party and Bullshit came out in 93.
Right.
But I was already doing radio, like even, locally in Brooklyn. I was on a station called WNYE, which is right there on J Street, right before you get to the Brooklyn Bridge.
Right.
And I was doing like a Thursday night show or whatever. And that's actually how I got me and Mr. Magic, the legendary Super Rocket Mr. Magic. We was doing like a Thursday show. So I was already, my whole approach, Maino, was like, my next move was like, I wanted to get on radio. Because me and Kane's career started to slow down a bit. And my whole vision was like, I wanted to get on radio. Then I was doing the mixtapes and all that type of stuff, and the clubs and stuff like that.
You had a legendary mixtape with the
Big, with the Best of Biggie.
With the Best of Biggie, and that Madison Square Garden.
Right. The infamous Where Brooklyn At.
Yeah, Where Brooklyn At with Tupac and Kane and Shaheem. A lot of people don't remember that Shaheem was also there too.
Right.
I was in Elmira. This is I want to say 95. When I heard this, and it was a red tape, a red cassette tape, the Best of Biggie, and that was on there, and it kept us alive, bro. And that, where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Anytime you ready. I got 7 Mac 11s, about 8 38s, 9 the shit never ends. You can't touch my riches, even if you had them 357 bitches.
So the story behind that is that was at a Big Daddy Kane show.
Right. In the Garden.
At the Garden, Madison Square Garden, 1993.
You're not on the radio yet.
I don't remember. I don't remember if maybe I was.
Maybe it was close to that.
Maybe I was on the radio. Maybe I was on Hot. No, because I got on Hot in '94, so I was not on Hot.
Okay.
But 1993, October of 1993, Madison Square Garden, Budweiser Superfest was the tour, and the Budweiser Superfest was mainly a R&B tour. We was the only hip hop act on the tour, so you had like Patti LaBelle, Gerald Levert,
Right.
like you had Belt BBD on the show.
Yeah.
We was like the only hip hop act on the show. We only had 10 minutes on stage. Only 10 minutes.
What?
So, Pac and Big came to the show. The minute that Pac and Big walked in that building, I went across the street from the Garden. Across the street from the Garden to this day, they sell like, souvenirs like New York hats and T-shirts and stuff like that. But at that time, they was also selling blank cassettes. And I brought a 120-minute cassette. 1 hour on one side, 1 hour on the other side. Went back to the Garden, and I begged the sound man. To this day, I don't even remember the sound man's name. I said, yo, bro, you got to let me tape the show. And, it's actually illegal to tape concerts. You can't really tape concerts.
Right.
So this man, I don't remember his name to this day, but he let me tape the show. And I recorded the show. And I recorded the whole entire Budweiser Superfest. And when I got home, I dissected the whole cassette, a cassette.
Right.
And then I heard that whole thing.
Where's Tupac and Biggie Smalls?
Hold on. Did you ask Big Daddy Kane? Did you say to him, yo, listen, you got to bring Big on?
No. There was already like once Big and Pac came in there, Kane was like, somebody bring him to the dressing room.
Because Tupac was more popular than Big at this point.
Tupac was a movie star because Poetic Justice had just came out that summer. So Pac that's why they really was screaming, because Pac was that guy from Poetic Justice. Woo! Poetic Justice that just came out that summer.
Right.
And Big was coming off of Party and Bullshit and the Real Love remix to Look Up in the Sky. So you had two cats that was at the height at certain points. So when Kane said that line, where's Tupac and Biggie Smalls, it was like what you heard was real. And this is an R&B concert.
Where's Tupac and Biggie Smalls?
And we only had 10 minutes. And this freestyle with Big Daddy Kane, Biggie, Tupac, Shaheem, he rapped on here, and Scoob, one of our dancers. Right. This is 5 minutes. We also had Fat Joe on the stage. We couldn't even get him on.
Shout out to Fat Joe, one of my favorites, if not the favorite. Shout out to Fat Joe, man. I got a lot of respect for Fat Joe.
So we had to cut. We couldn't even get Fat Joe to rhyme because that in itself took 5 minutes long. That whole freestyle session took 5 minutes long. So after we got into that, y'all
didn't know that they was coming there.
We didn't know that they was coming.
And when it came in, did you know first? Did you say, yo, Kane?
I did not know first. I think Kane knew before me.
Kane said, fuck it, I'm going to let them go.
So it was an he improvised.
Everything, all bets is off. Once he knew that they was there, all bets is off.
You hear how he sound? We're Tupac and Biggie Smalls. Play that again. Play that again.
Where's Tupac and Biggie Smalls?
What? You hear that aggression?
There's a lot of aggression.
You hear that aggression?
But do you hear that audience?
You hear the audience. But you know what's so ill about that I tell people all the time about this famous freestyle, and we all know it from Biggie's verse and from Tupac's verse. But what I tell people all the time about this thing is that you have to give Kane the credit that night, because Kane basically passed the torch that night. He basically passed the torch. He passed the torch without even knowing that he was passing the torch. You understand what I'm saying? He brought these guys on stage because of the love and because of they was hot in the street at the time. But basically, the torch was passed that night.
Wow.
Because that freestyle became so infamous later on with people like Funkmaster Flex used to playing it in the tunnel and on Hot 97. And that freestyle became so infamous, not just in New York, but just worldwide.
How did it become that infamous, though?
Because I used to I put this on vinyl. It went from a cassette to vinyl. And I used to beg Flex to play the record, Funkmaster Flex. He would never play it. Never. And one
Did
night,
Flex didn't think Big was hot.
no, it's just like how I treated you at the beginning.
Yeah, you treated me fucked up. See?
How I treated you,
Treated me fucked up.
right? So
Yeah.
I just didn't get your joints on.
Right.
He just didn't get it on. So one night, Flex had me as a guest DJ at the Tunnel. And so when he had me as guest DJ at the Tunnel, I had to get it on.
Yo, times was getting hard.
I had to get Biggie's joint on. So I got it on. And when he heard that whole Biggie freestyle, he just was like, yo, what is that? He ran to the booth.
Classic.
Flex ran to the booth. What is that? It's the vinyl. I gave you 6 copies. It's the 6 copies of vinyl I gave you.
Wow.
So Flex like, I got to go back to my crib to find it. And he
Wow.
just ran it in the ground from then
Wow.
all the way. Then I put it, then,
Flex style.
yeah, Flex out with the bombs and everything. And he ran it in the ground all the way into the 2000s.
Wow.
But had I not been a guest DJ at the Tunnel, had I not been a guest DJ at the Tunnel, this infamous freestyle would have never existed.
Biggie Smoke, what you gonna do it, baby? What you gonna do it like me?
You hear the energy? You hear the energy? Do you hear the energy?
You know,
listen.
You know, but you
Listen.
know,
No, see? No. I was in Elmira. I block.
you wasn't in Greenhaven. You was in Elmira.
I was in Elmira. I block. I was on 5 Gallery, 5 Cell, in long-term key block because I had some issues going on in the yard and I had to, you know.
That's jail terms
get-
because I don't know
get-
shit about what
I
you're
had to
talking
get
about.
defensive as usual. And I was on long-term key block for 6 months when that tape came and hit the compound. And that energy before the tape it used to be like this college radio station up there. And they used to play at night, maybe on the weekends, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, they would play, street shit, hip hop, and then we would like be all tuned in. And that was so memorable because the energy in the crowd. MC Hammer and them 357 bitches, and they went crazy. And do you understand who he was talking about? MC Hammer and the 357 bitches? You don't remember. You don't know
She know who MC Hammer is.
Biggie Smalls, the millionaire, the mansion, the yacht. The 2 weed spots, the 2 hot Glocks. What? He was talking so greasy. Listen,
and that's all up your alley. That's
Nah,
all
it's all
up
up my alley.
Yep.
No, listen, it's all up my alley. He was talking so greasy, and I was just so enthralled by that, man. And wow, and just to hear the history.
But
on
to
that.
me, beyond the freestyle, beyond the whole, I got 7 Mac 11s and all of that. Beyond all of that,
7 though, 7.
7. The beyond all
No,
of that,
7 could do.
beyond all of that is the intro into where Brooklyn at.
Word.
Where Brooklyn at.
Anytime you
Where
ready,
Brooklyn
check it.
at.
And that's
And
soon
this
as
is
you hear that-
2021.
Yes, and even if anytime you hear Where Brooklyn, everybody start going crazy, no matter who play it.
And
Soon as you hear that,
you know how much money? I don't like to talk about the bag, but
Let's talk about the bag, nigga.
the bag that
Talk about the bag,
the
nigga.
bag that I have made off of that.
So you basically
I own
that publishing on Where Brooklyn at. Anytime that was in a song or anything, Where
Anything.
Brooklyn at. Where Brooklyn
That's
at.
it.
Because it's been sampled a lot of
Yeah,
times.
they got to come see me.
Woo!
come see Mister Cee.
Come see Mr.
Don't play yourself.
So once again, you asked
Perfect.
earlier, was I upset
What you giving this
about the success? No, I'm not upset. Cause I'll get mine. You know where we come from.
We
I will
hustling.
get mine
and
some
you
type
still
of way.
getting yours.
Right.
Wow.
And it's not even about being upset because I made that decision. So, but I want to go back to something else now, real
Let's go
quick.
back. Let's go back. See.
So, you had asked, I talked about that I had a record where I was rhyming
right.
in my demo.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, the name of the song was called Mr. Official. I don't have that in my laptop. But in my laptop, I have a freestyle where me and Biggie is kicking a freestyle together. And the rap that I kicked is the rap from that song.
Exclusive.
Only on Kitchen Talk right now.
Now, I can't play the whole thing because the whole thing is like, it's like 3 minutes.
It's
so,
okay. Just give us a taste.
I'm going to give you a taste. Now, this is me and Biggie just bugging out in the studio. Now, what happened was, let me set it up. Biggie was actually recording the song Party and Bullshit.
Right.
With Easy Mo B. Shout out to him. There was something going on in the studio where something wasn't working. So we had some downtime. And Biggie out of nowhere just told Easy Mo B, pull some beats up. And Easy Mo B pulled up a track. Biggie started rapping. When Biggie started rapping, out of nowhere, I came creeping in the booth while he was rapping. And when I creeped in the booth, then that's when I kicked my rap.
Wow.
And you don't stop, Hit it, mumbling and whispering is what I hear when B.I.G. appear on the scene. Niggas get scared. Why? I'm not the stick up man. I don't want the rings on your hand. I don't understand.
Okay, so then it goes from there, and I'm just gonna go because I don't want to play it too long, but it's gonna go to me, right? So let me just bring it back a little bit to where he goes to me.
About to tear up, I'm telling you not to erupt, cause he's just as corrupt as a DJ should be, 50 grand, and I'm the B.I.G. Mister Cee.
Yo, here we go, motherfucker, here we go, motherfucker, here
You
we
ain't
go,
gonna hear this nowhere else.
motherfucker, here we go, here I go, I kick it, can you withstand, this kind of a man, getting in your ass like sand, but this ain't a day at the beach, so each and every MC in the place, check this beach, and I'll bet the dough for my show to get with Mister Cee on the float, so I get bit.
Nah, love. You can't do it like that, love. You know what I'm saying? You got to ride that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? You got to ride that motherfucker. Check this out. Try to get props on the brother that pops the most.
So what happened in the studio was like, he pushed me out the way. He's like, you ain't doing it right.
Did it feel like your shit was trash or something? Shit was trash. Shit was a little trash.
He pushed me out the
way.
way.
Shit was a little trash. Shit was a little trash. It was all right.
But yo,
It's all right, but this is
I got the rhyme with.
Right.
You got the rap with fucking Big, man. You got the rhyme with fucking Big in the booth at the same time.
Alive.
It sounded like you
talking together.
You was like freestyling and then you thought of that rhyme.
No, it's the rhyme from that demo.
Wow.
It's the rhyme from that demo. And Big is like, nah, love, you ain't kicking it right now. And I'm trying to get back on the mic, and he literally pushed me out the way.
It's the moment.
You're not Big.
Why you never played that on Hot?
Oh, no. There's certain things that, nah.
Politics.
I played that maybe like on the 10th anniversary of his
probably
passing.
could sell that for like $1 million.
Yeah, like I played that like maybe the 10th anniversary or the 15th anniversary, like when it's a very special moment.
You can sell that, bro. Let me get that.
I can sell it.
It's the moment. It's the moment.
Put that on the market.
You can't. The moments are priceless, and
Yeah.
that's probably why you didn't, because you know, like those moments are moments that you
Absolutely.
cherish. So
And everybody, you know what? Here's the
Mother
thing
Africa
too.
right here.
And here's the thing too. Here's the other thing too. And I'm not saying it because I'm in front of you,
Mother Africa.
but I'm saying it because of who you are and what we have. You deserve that. You deserve, with this platform we doing, you deserve to get that forward. You understand what I'm saying?
Thank you, brother.
You get what I'm saying? That's not something that I do plenty of interviews talking about Big, and I
never. You play shit that I've never, ever heard.
Nobody is
Like nobody in the world has ever heard, bro. Right here on Kitchen Talk, my nigga. This is crazy. This is March 9th right now. This
Come on,
is
man.
the
I
anniversary of Big
walk
Day.
in here, you know what I mean?
Came in here,
You know
legendary
what I mean?
status.
You gave me some crab, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
took care of you.
You know, you took care of me. I got to take care of you.
Wow.
Asparagus is banging. I can't wait to eat the rest. You know what I mean?
No, we got it like that. We got it like
So,
that.
you know, you took
Gotta
care of
have
me.
your
I had to take care of you.
Wow. How did seeing that success, did Big live up to what you thought he was gonna live up to, or did he?
I never thought he defied what I thought he was going to be. I knew he was dope. There's no question that I knew that he was dope, but he definitely defied what I thought he was going to be. I never imagined him being what he became. And I'm talking about this is before he passed.
Mm.
I never thought Ready to Die was going to be what it was. I never thought Life After Death would even be that as well. And then the success he had with Junior Mafia and Kim and so on and so forth. You know, back in 2017, me and Lil Cease, we went to Europe for like the 20th anniversary celebrating Biggie's life. And I will never forget, Cease told me something when we was in Europe. We went to like 8 countries to celebrate Big's life or whatever back in 2017. And Cease put me on to something that I never knew until that time. He told me that from 1994 to 1997, Biggie was associated with 5 platinum albums. And from the short time that he was successful while he was alive, 1994 to 1997, he was associated with 5 platinum albums. Can you name them?
Reasonable Doubt.
No, Reasonable Doubt. Jay-Z.
Right.
I said Big.
Associated. Right. So you saying associated.
No, Biggie was associated with 5 platinum albums.
So when you say associated with, we're not talking about his. We talking about what he.
Talking about his stuff that he was connected with.
Okay, so we talking about Ready to Die, Life After Death. We talking about Junior Mafia Conspiracy. We talking about Cee's joint.
Cee's was after Big passed.
All right, so we talking about
got
Kim,
3 out of the 5.
Kim first joint come out.
Yep.
Kim first joint.
One more.
Puff Daddy joint.
No. Crazy thing is that you have it on the list, but you don't have it on the list.
So you won't count Reasonable Doubt, the fact that he was on that?
No, I'm to his own project. You have it on the list. You just don't have it the way you should have it. That's 4. You gave me 4. I'll give you 5 seconds. It is a podcast.
I should know this.
Okay. Life After Death was a double album, so that's 2 albums.
Fuck, see, that was a trick question.
But it just shows you the greatness. He was in that 3-year period, 94 to 97. He put out 5 platinum albums in 3 years.
Damn, bro.
Crazy.
You know, I really get sad when I think of Big, bro.
You know, we was talking off the mic, and you know, we was talking about some things off the mic.
Talking about that, man. Like, I really get sad. And at this point, when Big dies, you on Hot 97.
Yeah, I'm on Hot 97. Bugsy, if you know Bugsy, he called me with the call that Biggie had got shot. He heard that Biggie got shot. This is in the middle of the night of March 9th.
How did you feel when that?
I didn't believe him. I'm asleep. It's in the middle of the night. It's like 3, 4 in the morning. I didn't believe him. So I'm tossing and turning in the bed, trying to go back to sleep. I don't know if you ever been through this, getting some bad news and it's the middle of the night and you trying to fight your way back to sleep.
Right.
Because you just want to sleep off what you just heard.
Right.
I didn't hear that he got killed. I heard he got shot from Bugsy. But then I'm tossing and turning. Next thing you know, I see a picture of Big looking at me in my bedroom. It's a vision of Big. But actually what it was the juicy gold plaque on the opposite wall of my bedroom. And Biggie's picture is on the plaque. And he's looking at me. So I just heard this news, and then I got Big looking at me with the plaque. So that's like a premonition for me I got to get up and find out what's going on. So I got up, and the only thing I could think of doing was to go to Hot 97. You know, so I went to Hot 97, and that's when it really hit. That's when I really found out, because Angie Martinez was there, and Lisa Evans was there, and that's when I really. What did you do? I started breaking down crying. We was all crying in there. Me, Angie, Lisa Evans, we was all crying in there. And our program director at the time, Tracy Clority, she was like, you know, I think it would be best if y'all go on the air and just, you know, help the listeners, because can you imagine how many people is probably grieving as well? And she came up with the idea about us going on the air. Me, Angie, and Lisa Evans went on the air, and that whole morning. And I remember people like Busta Rhymes calling from L.A. and Swiss Beats calling from L.A. and they was just like, wow, you know, it was just unreal. I never seen Brooklyn that quiet. I tell you, that morning of March 9th, when I went to Hot 97 and drove over to the station, I never seen Brooklyn that desolate, that quiet.
That is a legendary time, and it's legendary footage. But you pushed on Hot 97.
Yeah, I mean, I had to. I mean, I remember when Big passed, I didn't leave the crib. When I came back from Hot 97 that day, I didn't get out my bed or leave the crib, and I don't mean to get too graphic. I didn't take a shit, a shower, or a shave until Big's funeral. I stayed in the crib, in the bed, all of those days, leading up to Big's funeral. I had to give myself a shave to get ready to go to Big's funeral because I had not been outside. I haven't opened up the shades. Nothing.
But you having that platform because at that point, Hot 97 was beginning to become the premier station for hip hop around the country. It was becoming the staple. It was becoming a landmark as far as what hip hop was at that time in the 90s. You had a platform. Did you then start like playing a lot of big records at that point?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. Because I actually brung that up. You know, I know this podcast is going to air a couple of days from March 9th, but on March 9th, earlier this week, I was on my live on Instagram, and I brung up the fact that, and this is not to be bragging or whatever, but sometimes, like I told you, people try to take you out to history. Sometimes people will try to take us out the history book of what we've done. And sometimes we don't have to always talk about what we do, and I did this and I did that. But today, on March 9th, I had to go on the live and just express how, if it was not for me celebrating Biggie's life every year on March 9th on Hot 97, we would not be celebrating Biggie's life.
Wow.
It ain't nothing wrong with that.
So, you know,
from
the
made
first,
that March 9th thing a thing.
I made it a thing because March 9th of 1998, 1 year when he passed, I did the tribute. And then ever since I did that tribute, March 9th, 1998, I continued doing it. And it wasn't just for Big, Freaky Tide, Big L, Big Pun, Eazy-E, Aaliyah. We can go on and on. But for the Biggie tribute that I started doing on March 9th, started a whole movement, first in New York and then nationally, where we started celebrating March 9th as celebrating his life. And it was all because, and I'm keeping it funky. It was because of me. And I took the idea, I got the idea, Maino, I got the idea from, there's a radio station, I don't even know if it's still in existence here in New York, but there was a radio station in New York called WCBS. And CBS Radio, they would pay tribute to Elvis Presley. And they would pay tribute to some of the great white artists. And I would listen to them. And when I used to see them do these tributes, and that's what made me be like, you know what? On this 1 year thing, when it come up, I'm going to do a tribute for Big. And that's where I got the idea from. Because they do it for their heroes. Why nobody do it for our heroes?
One time for Mister Cee for creating the whole big tribute March 9th, man. One time for the real, man. I got to fast forward a little bit, though, man. Me being a real nigga. Hot 97, you know, when I come home, you know, you already maybe 10 years already in, maybe more. Why did you leave?
Well, I left Hot 97 because well, let me get into why people think that I left, and then I'll tell y'all why I left. Okay. People think that I left because of the stuff that I was involved in, you know, the sexual activity and stuff that I was involved in. You know, I know you're not into trannies, right? You're not into trannies.
Not at all.
Okay.
Are you?
Are you? You know my story. You know I am. You know what I do.
No.
You know.
But the world, like we.
Yeah, you know. My story is well documented. I just wanted to know how you got down.
Nah, I don't. I absolutely strictly women.
Okay.
That was good.
Okay,
I like that. That's cool. But
That was good.
So people thought
you like trannies though.
Yeah, that's what I do, bro.
That's what you
me.
do.
You know what I do. That's what I do. It's
But
well documented.
you liking trannies, do you consider yourself a gay man?
I mean, I've answered that question way back when I got arrested in 2011 and 2013.
We got new people.
Yeah, I know we got new people. I consider myself trisexual. I'll try anything.
Okay. Hey, I respect it. I respect it.
I'll try anything. Not anything. Not literally not anything. But the point I'm making is that the only thing I've done with transsexuals is that I got top head from a transsexual. I've never had sex. I never penetrated.
You never hit a nigga.
No.
You never hit a nigga.
Never.
No.
You never hit a nigga.
No.
Okay.
Not one time.
No.
Okay.
Never in my life. Never had sexual intercourse with a transsexual.
But what is the thing with transsexuals, like, because it's a man, so it's like because there's footage, right? Where it's like this dude tapes you, right?
Right.
And y'all like haggling over the prices of head, right? So it's like,
Well, let me correct you.
right,
It wasn't a dude that taped me.
right.
It was a transsexual woman.
Okay, it's a
'Cause
transsexual.
I don't want them to get at you.
Don't get at me.
It was a transsexual woman that taped me. It was
okay.
not a man.
Okay, I don't understand all this shit.
But I'm telling you.
That's what I'm saying.
You want to learn from the master?
What
you want to do?
You're the fucking master. This is the fucking master.
You want to learn from the master?
He's the master. So
because I don't want you to get because they will get at you.
They will get at me.
If you don't talk the right terminology,
I have a problem.
You will have problems.
Okay, so a transsexual female tapes you, basically haggling over head prices and where to do it at and all this other stuff. Like, so what I'm asking you is that my question is like, do you prefer that it's a
man that looks like a woman?
That used to be that looks like a woman, or
Maino, stop being difficult. That's what a transsexual woman is.
So
It's a man that's dressed like a woman.
right? But is that what you like though?
Yes. I already made that clear. Where we going? Where we going here?
You know, I really respect your honesty. I really respect it.
Maino. This has been. Do you know when I first got arrested? It was 2011. It's 10 years now, bro.
Let me tell you something. about this.
10 years.
Let me tell you something about that. I heard about that in the world, and nobody knew about that.
You knew about it before.
I heard about it before it popped off. They said, man, Mister Cee was out here playing with the boys. I said, the fuck out of here, nigga. Big Daddy Kane, B.I.G. We don't play that, right? And they said, yeah, it happened. He got locked up, but it was real hush-hush. And then it happened again when you got locked up, and they said that you was soliciting sex from.
Now, let me tell the story correctly. I got locked up in 2011. And when I got locked up, the confusion was I got locked up like late March of 2011. So this is literally 10 years, almost 10 years to the day when I first got locked up. But the news didn't break until April Fool's Day, April 1st, Friday, April 1st of 2011. And I was getting ready to do my show Friday Night Live. You remember when I was on Friday Night Hot 97?
That's a fact.
8 to 10.
Fact.
And the girl who I used to do the show with, Jay Medina, she showed me a text and it was like, yo, or something that there was some news coming down.
Right.
I said to Jay Medina, don't worry about this April Fool's Day joke because it was on April Fool's Day. So I can live with the fact that this April Fool's Day is not true. In my heart, the heart was palpitating.
How did you feel though?
I just told you the heart was palpitating, but I'm talking to Jay Medina like, yo, listen, it's an April Fool's Day joke, and I'm thinking it's going to go away. By Sunday, April 3rd, Saturday, Sunday, it was spreading like wildfire. So then Ebro, Funkmaster Flex, Ebro, they hit me up, yo, are you coming in Monday? Are you coming in to do the throwback at noon? I'm like, I'm coming in. Because even though I was scared to death, I wasn't that scared to where I'm not going to come into my job the next day. You said this about 45 minutes ago. We come from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. We're a different breed.
That's right.
I'm not running from nothing.
So you having a preference for transsexual females? Is that how you say it?
You just said it. Said it.
You having a preference for transsexual females? Is that something that you noticed about yourself early on?
Nah, this started for me. That activity kind of started in 2001. And what happened was that I was in a long relationship with a woman, and me and her broke up. And it was like a progression thing with me. What it was that it started off with me going to strip clubs, and not the strip clubs you go to, them little corny Miamis and all that.
No, I like.
Nah, I was in the dirty underground strip clubs.
Joints, right?
It's different
in Brooklyn.
Different.
And you know what I mean, and all through Brooklyn.
I know those joints.
Okay, so I was well known in that circuit, tricking all day in that circuit. So it progressed from that, and then me working at Hot 97 on a daily basis. Right up the street from Hot 97 is Christopher Street, where
all the niggas with dicks.
You ain't got to say it like that.
Oh,
you gotta be that extra.
Gays,
right?
Come on now, because I don't want them to light
No,
you
no,
up.
don't light me up. Don't light me up.
All right,
Boom,
so
don't light me up.
I don't want them to
I don't
light
want
you
no
up.
smoke.
So right up the street from, like less than 5 blocks away from High 97 is Christopher Street,
Right.
where the gays, lesbian, transsexual community,
LGBT.
they conjugate, okay?
Right.
So me being at High 97, I would drive there, up there, going, doing whatever, going to wherever I needed to go, and I would pass by there. And I started becoming intrigued by seeing the transsexual women on the track, doing what they doing.
Selling
And
butt.
that's how it started for me.
You just started getting curious.
I started getting curious. So, but it was like once me and my ex-girlfriend broke up, then it was like a progression thing. It came from the strippers, tricking on the strippers, and then it was like, well, how can I elevate my high? Okay, let me try this.
It's like going from weed to crack.
Yeah, and then, and so that's how, and that's honest to God, that's how it started.
So,
I started this. This started late 2001, early 2002.
and you never wanted to progress with that, with as far as like just going all the way. Like you just said, I just want to get top.
It was all about just getting top. That's it. It was never about nothing else. And so, but then I started, now remember, I'm telling you, I started this 2001, 2002. So the first time I got exposed was in 2007. See, y'all know of me getting exposed.
Right, see, that's what I'm talking. I'm talking about a time when nobody knew.
When nobody knew, and
that's the time I'm talking about.
When nobody knew, the first time I ever got exposed was 2007 by Wendy Williams. No, Wendy Williams.
Just talking about it.
Right. On WBLS in New York. Her and Charlamagne. Okay, they had a show together on WBLS, the Wendy Williams Experience.
Right.
And they exposed me on WBLS. But when they exposed me back in 2007, they never said my name. Because Wendy...
What did they say?
I'm going to tell you. So Wendy contractually could not... When you was... Back in that time, you could not say another DJ's name on the air or you would get sued. So she would say, is having sexual activity with transsexuals. You understand? So that was back in 2007. So, but my dumb ass, I'm still thinking I can get away with it.
That's
because
I was gonna go.
I'm still thinking I can get away with it because I'm like, well, she's saying, but and you got to remember, this is 2007. There's no internet. The internet is not really popping at the time. No social media. Nothing was really, it's just if you heard it, you heard it. If you didn't, you didn't. You got it?
Right.
So I felt like I can still get away with doing the illegal activity and not get jammed up or get caught or whatever. So fast forward 5 years later, in 2011, that's when I first got arrested.
So, but if you just getting head, why not just a woman?
That's the question of my life. That's the question that I always ask myself. The only answer I can give you, Maino, it feels better, man.
Because it's different.
Because it's different.
It's like sneaking, I guess. It's like...
It's not even about the sneaking. Forget about the sneaking. It's not even about that. It's just the only answer I can give you, bro.
A man knows how to please
It's
a man.
just...
Get the fuck out of here.
Yo,
it's like a woman
you
knows
asked
how
the
to
question.
please a
You asked the question.
Get the fuck out of here.
You don't have to agree, but it's like a woman.
Yo,
a woman knows how to please a woman.
Everybody in this room,
get the fuck out of here.
Everybody in this room is like, yo, what is happening? Y'all knew we was gonna get to this talk. Y'all knew.
Of course we was.
Y'all had y'all meeting. Y'all had y'all meeting.
Of course we was.
I knew y'all was gonna get to it. Y'all just didn't think the kid was gonna open up.
No, you 100 and you 100. And I respect you and I got nothing but
that's the only thing I can tell you, Maino. The only thing I can say is that
so
it
when I'm
feels
saying
better.
it's like what it feels better than a woman? Like what?
That's the
nothing in
only
the world
thing I
feels
can tell
better.
you.
To me, nothing on this earth feels better than a woman.
That's your opinion.
That's my opinion.
And you have your right for your opinion. My opinion is
that's true.
My opinion is
that a man might feel better.
That not so much a man like a man that looks like a man, but
okay, a man that looks like a woman.
It's the vision that I have. That's the vision that's within me.
You wouldn't play with a man that looks like a man. You play with a man that looks like a woman.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. So why not just a woman?
It's a transsexual. So are all transsexuals? They have their change.
Some do, some don't.
I have a question. Well, first, all right. So you've never had sexual intercourse with have you ever performed head on a transsexual?
No.
So, okay.
That's a right
No,
question.
no, that's-
And
I
I
understand.
also just want to know, when you, like, knowing that you're doing this and, like, Wendy Williams on the verge of exposing you, was there anything going on in your head, like, one day this might come out? How will I react?
The only time that I ever felt that it would really, really come out to where it's like, Mister Cee, bang, bang, bang. The only time I really had awareness, because I'm going to keep it funky, I thought I was invincible.
Mm-hmm.
The only explanation I can give of why didn't I stop prior to Wendy exposing me when she never said my name is that I thought I was invincible. I didn't think I can get caught. I didn't think that the transsexual women actually knew who I was.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? I'm just a DJ. I'm not a rapper. I'm just a
Mister
DJ.
Cee, though, homie.
But once again, it's me. I thought I was invincible. I underestimated my popularity. I underestimated who I really am. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But the only time that I really started to be concerned is when Charlamagne got hired on Power 105. Because what did I tell you a couple of minutes ago? Wendy exposed me.
Right.
Who was her co-host? Charlamagne.
That's how I met
So
Charlamagne.
when Charlamagne was getting hired at Power 105 back 10 years ago now, that's when I started to be like, homie knows.
And he's on another radio
So
station.
how
And
do
he's
you-
on another
how
radio
do-
station,
how do-
and
A
it's the enemy.
rival radio
And it's the
station.
enemy.
Yes,
you
a
felt
rival radio
some
station.
kind of way, like holding this secret, right? Like, do you consider yourself part of like the LGBTQ community? What is
Go
it? LGBT? What?
LGBT.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an activist and all of that type of stuff. I
Right.
wouldn't say that.
Right.
But I'm not ashamed about who I am and what I do and what I've been through. That I'm not going to, because like I said, it's 10 years now. Like, if anything, I'm proud to have went through the darkest of the dark of the dark of my
Right.
life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still here 10 years later.
Still
I'm here.
indulging?
Yes. Why not?
And that's
Give him some
what-
class, man. He owning his children. Get that man his flowers now for being who he say he is. He's still indulging. Still
But
like
that's what
men
you
that
gotta
look like
respect
women.
it, because
Definitely.
when you hide it is when you get the most scrutiny.
See,
if I say, look, this is who I am, or you could either like it or not, but you gotta respect it because I'm finding my truth. You can't. There's nothing if I'm okay with who I am, there's nothing that you can say that can make me feel any type of way. Or
And
try
if
to
I
break my
had,
character.
if I had the strength now that I did back in 2011 when I first got arrested, back in 2013, the second time I got arrested, if I had the strength I did now than I did back then, nobody on this planet would have been able to use what they had against me.
But I don't feel like it was a big thing against you.
No,
though.
bro,
It
do you
was.
understand
I
how
don't
crazy?
know.
It
But you
was.
got caught in a mook area. Like you got caught.
Yeah,
in-
but
Hey,
that-
you got pulled.
Hey, you gotta watch your language.
Oh, okay. You got caught in the area that's like predominantly.
No, I did
Hold on,
not.
like,
No, I
you
did
got
not.
caught. No,
Oh.
you was on Bed. You was on Broadway.
Oh yeah, the second time.
The second
Yeah,
time.
Bedford,
That's like-
Broadway and Madison.
That's
Yeah.
like high
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
activity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought it was
That's
in East New York.
that area over there is like a high
Right.
traffic area
Right.
for transsexuals and stuff like
Right.
that. Like, so when I heard about it, I was like, what the fuck he was doing over there? What he doing over there?
Bro, I be
You over
knowing.
there?
I be knowing.
This shit got to be true. He
But
over
how
there.
you know that
But-
it's
but-
it's
but-
hot?
That's because that's the area you know you drive
Why
by.
you so aggressive?
You ain't got to know.
Why you so aggressive? You're mad aggressive when I ask
That's
that
the
question.
area that you know that you keep going.
You look
But
straight.
but
You
bro,
understand?
Look straight,
but
drive
bro,
straight, don't-
if I
Drive straight.
if you enthralled in it the way I was heavily enthralled in it, with the illegal activity from it, you're gonna know where to go. You're gonna know where to go.
You know all the
So at the end of the day, like, you know, when I first got arrested in 2011, I denied it. At 2013, when I got arrested the second time, the person who really put me over the top and was just like, "Yo, bro, it's over," was Flex.
What
Flex
Flex say?
basically was like, "Yo, you gotta, it's over, bro. You gotta. If it wasn't
Gotta
for
own it.
if it wasn't for Flex and Ebro, I give those two guys so much credit for putting me over the top to deal with, you know, to face my fears. Because those two men right there was like, "Yo, bro, we will be here for you every step of the way of whatever you need to be done. But the first things first, you got to own up to it. If you don't own up to it, it's never this is gonna be a forever thing. So I'm eternally thankful to Flex. Can we get a round of applause for Flex and Ebro?
Shout out to Flex. Shout out to Ebro.
So
man.
I'm eternally grateful to them. And a lot of people, they'll try to say some slick shit to me on the side, like they only use you because you was working with them. And whether you feel like somebody is using somebody or not, somebody don't have to come to you at all with no guidance. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody don't have to come to you and tell you nothing about how to help you navigate your darkness. But the fact that they did, regardless of what their intent was, I feel like their intent was a great intent. Indeed. But you got people that'll be in my ear that say, nah, it wasn't a great intent. But no matter what it was, they did way more for me than what most anybody.
You felt like that had like a negative connotation on your legacy because you being who you are. Do you feel like, you know, people trying to pigeonhole you, put you in a gay category?
Oh, I mean, all the time. To this day, like some of the most famous DJs, some of your most famous, legendary, iconic DJs will hate on me. Go to promoter. If they see I'm getting booked for a party, they go to the promoter. Why you booked the gay guy?
What?
To this day.
Wow.
Why you booked the gay guy? It happens to this day.
But do you still get bitches?
Girls, women?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I just had to say it in that way.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's women that
they don't care.
They don't care.
There you go.
So you let them know that you do.
He was there.
They know.
He was there for like two seconds. So he was like, "There's women with a smile."
They know.
As long as you let them know that that you do niggas
they know.
too.
How is it that they don't know? They know.
Right.
So
he just said that he don't.
My life is to the point where I don't push up on a woman. Because now my thing is, you know my story. So I don't push up on a woman because you know my story. So if you coming up to me and talking to me,
you know.
They know. They know.
I don't do what you do.
Oh.
And what is it that I do?
I don't try to talk to women.
All of the women.
I don't do that.
You don't come telling them
women love me
because it's like
they all love me.
You're not. I have to be that way because I don't want to be. And this is something that I had to learn throughout the years. Don't get it messed up. I had to learn throughout the years that I can't be the aggressor because that can either turn a woman off because they already know my story, or they. You know, the gay guy, the dirty guy, whatever. So my thing is, all right, I'll sit back. And I find that sitting back actually works because women get stressed all the time by dudes talking to them anyway. So when you sit back.
A lot of women like the laid back guy.
It is what it is. As long as they know.
So, but this conversation started off about why did I leave Hot 97?
Right.
So I want to kind of go back to that because people think that I left Hot 97 because what I went through personally.
That's what I thought.
That's not why I left. I left Hot 97 because I knew at the time when I left November of 2014, I knew that the station was going in a direction where they was getting ready to bring in new talent. Mm-hmm. And before you could tap me on the shoulder and be like, your time is up, or before they can tap me on the shoulder and be like, we're going to make you once a week now. Before I get to that, like what Jay-Z said, I don't get dropped. I drop the label.
Right.
Let me break out.
Well, I get fired.
And that's what happened. It had nothing to do with my personal life. It all happened to do with what I foresee, what I was foreseeing getting ready to happen with the station. They was bringing in new blood. So my thing is like, eventually, if you've been working in corporate America long enough, you know what's getting ready to happen.
It was about to be a big
and I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but my thing was, let me exit.
None of your personal relationship was at jeopardy.
No, because they would have got rid of me when I first got arrested in 2011. They would have got rid of me in 2013. I left in 2014. Nothing was going on with me then when I left. I left. I went on the station November 21st, 2014. You can pull it up. And I got on the throwback at noon, and I said, I'm resigning. This is my last show. Nobody in the building knew I was leaving. Nobody.
Wow.
Nobody.
Wow.
And the other thing too is, the other thing too, Maine, is that I always felt that I didn't want to be at Hot 97 at 50 years old. And I was 48 when I left. I always felt like, this is no offense to anybody that's on a hip-hop radio station past 50, but I always felt like I did not want to be on Hot 97 past 50. I used to have conversations with Flex. Bro, I don't want to be here at 50. And Flex used to be like, come on, we're going to ride this out. We're going to ride this out. I'm like, yo, I don't want to be here past 50. So that was always in my mind too. But so the combination of that and then the new talent that was coming in, I was like, before you tap me on that shoulder, let me break out.
Wow.
And was I scared to death when I left? I was scared as shit. But I didn't have a plan. I had no plan of what I was going to do.
But you bounced back, bro. And you still here.
And it's really, sometimes we brag too much about where we come from, but where we come from means everything. And if I didn't have that upbringing of coming from LG, coming from Lafayette, 411.
411.
If I didn't have that upbringing, if I didn't have my brothers that my little big brothers, seeing my brother like my brother Knowledge, rest in peace, my brother Babe D.
Rest in peace, Knowledge, man, was a legendary street nigga.
And so seeing my two brothers, and they're younger than me, but seeing them in the trenches, like seeing that, I could never, Maino, let them down. I could never be a person to let them down and be like, oh, I'm going to be down in the dumps. And the other thing too is, if I was a whack DJ, I would have been finished. The only thing that saved me is my talent. Because if I was a whack DJ and I got jammed up, I would have been wrapped up.
Because at the end of the day, that's all it comes down to.
The talent is going to override everything.
What you do in your personal life is your business.
Right. And these are all things I had to learn with therapy. Because I went to therapy, like all the stuff, like nothing can override you being honest. Nothing can override what you bring to the table as a man, as what you do for your living. You're going to have obstacles. People are going to block you. People try to block me to this day. I just told you. Some of your most famous DJs. Wow. Yo, why you book the gay guy? And they think the promoter not going to tell me. Stupid. Of course the promoter going to tell me what you said. But guess what? I'll see them and shake their hand. Like they don't even know what I know about them.
Thick face, black heart.
So the biggest thing that I went through in that 2-year time period is the mental strategy that you have to deal with the type of people that we deal with in this industry. It just made me become even more stronger, even better, even more accessible. And that's the other thing about, you said earlier about how I used to be an asshole.
Right.
Part of why I was an asshole too back in that time, in my heyday of Hot 97, is because I was guarded. So I'm going to put up the asshole shit. Don't get next to me. I used to always, that was the mechanism. That was the defense mechanism, because I didn't want people to really get to know who I really was.
And who are you?
I'm a free man. I'm a free guy. I'm a free man. You know what I mean? Like totally
free.
Uninhibited, you know what I mean? Free person.
What is it? Trisexual?
Try anything. I won't try anything. But the point is that, you
do what you want to do.
I do what I want to do. And if either you like it or you don't, and you accept me or you don't accept me. That's it. Bottom line.
It is respectable, bro. And listen, I got a lot of respect for you. I already came to the game with respect for you. But I didn't gain a lot more respect for you since you've been here, bro. And I appreciate you coming to the crib, vibing, talking, telling your story, and speaking your truth the way you did, bro. Like, I got a lot of love for you.
Nothing. It's at the end of the day, man. Like, it's nothing nobody can't do. There's nothing you could do against me. There's nothing you can do. You just better be worried about what I can do to you.
That's right. And you own who you
because
are.
At the end of the day, it's like there's people out here that hide way more shit than what I was hiding. So if that's all you got on me, try again.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow. And you heard that, ladies and gentlemen, people out there in TV land, you already know what it is, man.
Face your fears, man. Face your fears. I'll tell everybody, I'm looking at this the main. Let me tell you something, man. Face your fears. We all go through the fear of the unknown, but if you don't face your fear and walk through it, like I had to walk through it. I had to drink a bunch of Fanta orange sodas and I almost went blind. Wow. Back like 2011 to 2012, because I used to just run home from the throwback at noon and drink a bunch of Fanta orange sodas, because in the public eye, I'm doing the throwback at noon. I'm doing all these parties. In the public eye, I'm still out there. But back at home, I'm in misery.
You're going through it.
But I needed to go through the darkness. I needed to go through that shit
And listen,
to get out of it.
Listen, you can't see the stars shine without the darkness.
Can't.
You understand? So
Absolutely.
the darkness has to be, but in order for you to see the stars to shine. So it is what it is. You heard it here first, man. Shout out to Halal, bro. Shout out to Mister Cee for pulling up, man, on episode, what's this, 35?
35, man.
Man, we here, brother.
lit.
Man.
You lit. 35.
We super lit, man. It's Kitchen Talk, man.
At your favorite
Thank you.
time, boy.
You know, at your favorite time, boy. You know, holla, get better. Ricky, you'll be
Yes.
back. And Mr. Cee, brother, thank you, bro.
Thank you
I
so
appreciate
much.
y'all. Appreciate y'all.
We appreciate
We're
you.
gonna break some bread, though, a little bit.
Hey, yo. Monday, you come through. Monday through Friday, check me out on LL Cool J's Rock the Bells Radio, Sirius XM Channel 43,
Right.
Monday through Friday,
That's right.
7 p.m. to 9 p.m. East Coast time. I do a show called The Set It Off Show, classic hip hop from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. And then every Saturday, I'm on 2 to 4 p.m. LL Cool J's Rock the Bells Radio, Sirius XM Channel 43. And look, when you talk about people giving you opportunities, look what this man LL done gave me. Look at the opportunity that
Word.
he done gave me.
Shout out to LL, man.
So, you know what I mean? Still out here. So that's what it is, man.
Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Taste that, bro. Taste that, bro.
I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it.
Chase
Break bread with me,
Chase
man.
your
Break
dreams.
bread with me, man.
Chase your dreams. I'm
Chase
gonna
your
tell you
dreams. You already know
because
it
he
is.
eating.
You already know how we moving. Chase your dreams. You already know what it is. Go after what you looking for, man. You know what I mean? Ain't no perfect moment. Make the moment perfect. Let's get it.
Look at you.